Ahoy Captains, this is Vaz again with another video from World of Warships Legends. And today we have a let's play for you in the Dunkerque. This is the French Tier 5 premium battleship. There is a little bit to unpack here in this match. We'll first start off by saying this match was from about a year ago, last May actually. It's just been kind of sitting around and I was actually debating whether to put commentary or not on it. And after watching it a few times last night and this morning, I thought, yeah, there's a lot of good points in this video, so let's do it. The things we're going to go over are battleship positioning. As you can see, we started off with the middle spawn here. Not ideal, although we are French battleships, so we are a little fleeter of foot than other battleships. But again, we'll talk more about the positioning in a second. Second thing we're going to talk about is destroyer awareness. Destroyers are, of course, the battleship's counterclass, and you need to be aware of where they are at all times. We'll talk a little bit about what you can do to avoid getting caught with your pants down in this match. And there are 2 destroyers on the enemy team. And guess who sinks both of those destroyers? Well, stick around to find out. And then the third and final thing we're going to talk about is never giving up. Giving it your all, because you never know what's going to happen in a match, even if you're down, even if all of your teammates are dying all around you, even if you're about to die yourself. Never give up, do what you can, because you never know what's going to happen in the end. Alright, so let's first talk about our first point, positioning. It's kind of interesting to watch my positioning in this match. Normally what I would do nowadays is pick a flank, see which flank has the least number of battleships, and go and support that flank. Especially in a French battleship, you know, you want to take advantage of its speed and try and catch your enemy in a crossfire. So it's interesting to see the difference in my tactics and the play style that I had about a year ago. I only had, I guess, less than a year of playing warships under my belt, so it was interesting how I kind of took up a position in the center of the map this time. You know, I didn't reverse at the start, I sort of pushed into Bravo, and then, you know, it kind of looks like I saw I had a whole bunch of targets right where I was there. Now it is kind of interesting because you'd think that if you're out in the open, you're right in the middle of the map there, that everyone on the enemy team would have a clear path to shooting at you. So it kind of works both ways. Although I don't actually suggest you do this, but a little tip for you: if you are actually looking for a Kraken, you shouldn't be doing that, by the way, you should be looking for the win. But if you are looking for a Kraken, it is actually beneficial for you to stay near the center of the map, because that way you can basically shoot at everything. You can shoot at everything on the left flank, the center, and the right flank. And then from there, just pick on the weakest targets and try and get your Kraken that way. Again, not advisable, but hey, you do you. The real point that I want to make is that your positioning depends on what the enemy is doing. You can literally be sitting in the same spot 2 matches in a row, and in the first match that position could be fantastic, but in the second match that position could be terrible, depending on where the enemy ships have positioned themselves. If you take this match as an example, we spawned behind Bravo Cap, we push forward a little bit, we have been playing with our speed, going back and forth, we don't want to be a sitting duck for anything. But we've been in a position to shoot at a Nuremberg over on the left flank, and then our next 2 salvos were at a Pensacola and a London over on the right flank. And I believe I did take up this position because of the way the enemies were positioning themselves. Pretty much the entire enemy team has concentrated themselves over by the Charlie Cap. And of course, being that the cruisers are quicker than the battleships, they've sort of put themselves broadside to us. And we've been able to take some opportune shots on them. Now RNG and our trolly French dispersion hasn't done us any favors, but things will kind of even out by the end of the match. And you know, we'll talk about the Dunkerque's trolly dispersion as we go along too. It does have some trolly ass dispersion, I tell you. I can even see we're using Jajard in this match, the dispersion commander. You know what, let's pop him up on the screen now just to chat about him. There's not really a break in the action all throughout this match, so might as well do it now. Now, of course, a year ago, he wouldn't be ranked this high. He's not even really ranked that high now. If I were to take a guess, he would have probably been around a level 11, maybe only Legendary 1. But I'm pretty sure the inspirations would be about the same. I've always used Japrete on Jajard, and I've always used Jajard on Japrete, just to get the best of both worlds, so to speak. And due to the Dunkerque's very inconsistent dispersion, I have used both commanders quite a fair bit on the Dunkerque. The Dunkerque was my most played ship at one point. It was the very first premium ship I ever got out of a crate, and my first tier 5 premium, so I did play it quite a bit for the first year or so that I played Warships. So I know her quite well. You know, one salvo will be pinpoint laser accuracy, then the next salvo will look like a shotgun blast all over the shop, and then the next salvo will be all overpens. And holy smokes, did this ship ever teach me about overpens. Anyways, let's pop that graphic back up on the screen again. We're using all the offensive skills, and we're using that special French skill in the third slot there, Megalomania. That gives a nice bonus to the main battery reload time, and also has a very interesting perk of reducing the battleship's detectability time after firing your main battery guns. I wonder if that skill's helped us in this match to avoid incoming fire. Well, anyways, let's talk about the match a little bit more. This is a good time to talk about a third point that we wanted to mention. Being down but not out. We are down in ships and points, and both teams have one cap. You know, overall, things aren't looking good for the blue team, are they? Well, this is where we need RNG to help us out a little bit here. And oh boy, right when we need it. Nice 23k salvo on that Fuso. This red team is just presenting us with all kinds of nice targets, aren't they? Definitely a low tier match. You would have thought that this was a tier 3 and 4 match by the way they're positioning themselves. They do have very good accuracy though, and they take out another one of our ships. Dang nabbit. Now we gotta make sure we don't push too far, otherwise we're gonna get ourselves in a nasty crossfire. We're definitely wary of that CNOP in front of us. He can punch straight through our weak bow. That's definitely a weakness of the Dunkerque, as it's a 25mm bow. Even 14-inch guns can punch right through it. Some jerk knocked out one of our turrets, so we're only able to get one turret on that Pensacola. We do have quick turning turrets though on this Dunkerque. And even though he only had a little bit of health left, we finished him off with a Citadel. And that is our first kill of the match. Isn't that always the case? When you don't need a Citadel, you get one. When you do need one, you don't get it. Anyways, our comeback is just beginning. We have Byron now bearing down on us, and there's a smoke screen that has appeared in front of us. We need to be wary of whatever the hell put that up. Oh, and speaking of smoke screens, there's the T-61. See if we can sneak a shot on him before he disappears behind that mountain there. This could be very important to the outcome of the match. And that was a nice salvo against him, over 5,000 in damage, well worth it. Because they have such a low health pool, every little bit of damage against these guys helps. And that kind of leads us into our second point of what to do against enemy destroyers when you're in a battleship. I see a lot of posts on Reddit, for example, and maybe Facebook sometimes too. They're very consistent. There's always battleship mains complaining about destroyers torping them. And well, you know what? If you're paying attention, you don't gotta worry about destroyers torping you. For example, when I started first playing this game, I had a really hard time focusing on what I was doing and then keeping an eye on the minimap. But I really worked at it, because knowing where your enemy is extremely important in this game. When you are a battleship, you do have about 30 seconds in between salvos, so you do have more time to look at the minimap than other classes. Use that time to figure out where the enemy destroyers are. If they're not visible on the map at the time, they'll have a little grayed out icon showing you their last known location. If you're a battleship, it's simple. Put yourself between them and an island, between them and a friendly, between them and whatever. Or just assume that they're there even though you can't see them. Just because you can't see them doesn't mean you don't know where they are. And then position your ship accordingly. By the way, check out that blind shot on the T-61. Whammo, that's how it's done. When we finished him off for our second kill of the match. And a very powerful ship off the board at that. And look at that, we're even in ships. And now it's time to go on the offensive. Cue that comeback, we might actually have a chance now. And there was another nice shot before we lost a ship behind an island on the Byron there, and that is the High Caliber medal. Funny enough, we swapped to HE thinking that the CNOP was going to bow tank us. But he just gives us absolutely no respect. And he goes completely broadside to us. think he's more worried about the Scharnhorst on our team. So let's get AP back in the holster. We're gonna unload this round of HE first though, because you know, we don't have that French pay-to-win commander. I think it's Elzerlane. Is it Elzerlane Dunkerque? That has the big 7 skill, I think it's called, where you can swap back and forth between HE and AP right away. Did light him on fire there, but that Sinop I think already had a fire, so he damage conned it. He did start turning towards us a little bit, but then he reverses his angle. We fire away AP. And hot damn, we got 3 citadels on that poor guy. I believe the Dunkirk only has 13-inch guns, but with that increased penetration skill from Jajard, and with the distance that we were at, it sure allowed us to make up for some of that poor RNG we had earlier, didn't it? Our friendly Scharnhorst is making a beeline for that Sinop. Looks like he's going on a torp and run. And our next salvo, not so good. We kind of botched our aim a little bit there. I don't know if the Sinop slowed down or if we just got a little overzealous, but we whiffed on that one. It's all good though, because if we would have killed him, the Scharnhorst wouldn't have gotten the kill, and the poor guy wouldn't have gotten his Kraken, which he does with his next kill, because he's sitting on 4 right now. So alright, we're kind of sitting pretty right now. We have 1 ship advantage, 3 ships, well, 2 ships plus the carrier to their 1 ship plus their carrier. So we're going to swap to HE now and go on a bit of a destroyer hunt. And we're going to chat a little bit again about our second point, dealing with destroyers while you're in a battleship. It's a little easier at this point because it's only the carrier and the destroyer, so we can swap to HE so that if that destroyer does pop up, we'll be able to maximize our damage against him. Now looking back at this, I don't believe I did check to see if that Scharnhorst was on 4 kills. Not sure if I had started doing that yet. That's something I do now, especially when it's just the carrier as the last ship or second to last ship, is to do what I call a Kraken Check. And all you gotta do is bring up the shipping forecast and just have a look to see if anyone's on 4 kills. Just a little extra thing you can do as a common courtesy. I've probably helped out some dozen or so odd people get Krakens by doing that. You know, adding an extra kill to our stats doesn't really do anything. You can really make someone's day by helping them get a rare accomplishment. So that's just something to think about if you have the time to check. And there's only a few ships left. Now we did fire away on that Rager, and got a Citadel with HE. It also net us a Confederate medal. We're up over 150,000 in damage now. And hey, while we're at it, we might as well get the Bravo cap, add to our XP. Why not? Boost earnings a little bit. You know, just in case things do go sideways. And one of our battleships dies to the destroyer, we'll still be up in points, hopefully. It sure would be nice to get that destroyer, though. And so we're actually going to go look for him. Get our HE loaded again. Little did we know that he actually only had a sliver of health left, so it didn't really matter what ammo type we were choosing. But one thing to think about when you are going after destroyers in a battleship is that you gotta have no fear. Remember, you have a giant hit point advantage. And if it comes down to it, if you gotta take a couple of torps in order to inflict some damage on a destroyer and potentially take him off the board, you gotta take that opportunity. Because destroyers are not always visible, and believe it or not, there are some destroyer captains that know what they're doing and know how to keep their distance and remain undetected. When they do pop up, you gotta take advantage. And sometimes that means taking a hit to make a play. That's what us Canadians say when we play hockey. You might need to hang on to the puck a little bit longer just to make that extra play. And by holding on to it a little bit longer, it might mean you get knocked on your ass. But hey, if that's what it takes to win, that's what it takes to win, right? I'm sure the same applies for sports like rugby or Gaelic football. We're talking about Gaelic football in one of my streams lately. It's kind of funny and random. Anyhow, you know what I'm trying to say, right? Sacrifice the body, that's what we say. Sacrifice the body. So now the Scharnhorst got his Kraken. We did get one last shot on the carrier. Luckily we didn't kill him, and the Scharnhorst was able to finish him off. We gave him the old thumbs up, or A-OK, whatever you want to call it. And then we went after the Yukikazi. That's who the last destroyer was. But we weren't sailing in a straight line, of course. We were playing with our rudder, and you'll notice that our spotter plane consumable had refreshed. and so we sent that in the air. Even though it's not a catapult fighter, it can still spot destroyers, and I'm told those planes can also spot torpedoes for you too. Not sure if that's true or not. You guys let me know in the comments if you know that's true for sure. But I did hear that from someone one time. Anyways, that's a little trick you can use if you really need to spot something and all you have is a spotter consumable. Anyhow, it allowed us to dodge his torps, and we finished him off, netting us our 3rd kill of the match, and also ending the match. Now here we are on the end screen, ended that match with over 159,000 in damage, 3 sinkings, the Confederate medal, and the High Caliber medal. We also finished at the top of the leaderboard on our team, even ahead of the Kraken guy. We had over 3,300 in XP. With the odd booster or so, we had ourselves quite the match. So there you go, never give up guys, don't be scared of destroyers, and always be aware of your positioning and the enemy's position. I hope that video was informative for you. If you did enjoy it, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button to see more of my videos, feel free to leave a comment down below, and as always, take care of yourself and do what makes you happy.